to do reassessment every 5 years. And then those counties would not be on behind in there. There's another solution that all Union County municipalities could be in Union County school districts and not bus them across the river. But if they came to Lewisburg, their taxes would be even higher than their Milton School Board taxes. So we could sit here and talk about this for 45 minutes if you'd like to.
All right. Do any of you wish to make a rebuttal or an add-on?
No. All right.
The next question we will go to, and Mr. Casimir, you will be the first to answer this question. The question is, how do you address bicycle safety? We have bike routes that have minimal clearance for bike traffic. Mr. Casimir.
We expand our trail system. Over and over in local recreational surveys, trails are at the top of the list. People want more trails for walking and biking. Every time I cross the rail trail, I look up and down. Every single time I see somebody walking or biking on that trail, and I'm proud every single time I see it. It is another conflict between modernity and the way these towns grow up organically. Lewisburg streets are fairly narrow. There's not a whole lot of room for an extra bike path. If we're going to get serious about it as a community, then sure, we can make more streets one way and make half of that a bike way. But that's a big, big change, and it's going to affect a lot of people in a lot of different ways. I've been a biker since I was a kid, serious biker at different times, biked around Manhattan when I lived there. But mostly the roads are made for the cars, and I think there's limited impact that a local official can have on that.
I may not look like it, but I do actually enjoy riding my bike regularly still. I actually am an avid road cyclist, never competitive like Trey, but I am an avid cyclist, and I do ride on the less congested roads in the county. But like Trey, I'm not so sure that this is really something that a local official can make a huge impact on right now, but you do have to work with the communities and the private groups and those sorts of people, and let's see if the solutions can come out of that.
The obvious thing would be to widen the highways and have the bikes ride on the other side of the line. The one thing that we all need to do, and I see signs, share the highway, have respect for the bicyclists when we're driving by. And as I said, I see many old order Mennonites with lit up jackets on and lights on their bicycles that can be seen a quarter or half a mile away, riding their bikes on Route 45 and 192, and I think we just need to respect it, and if and when we can, widen the highways and give them a little more space on the side.
I agree with actually what everybody said. I lived in Washington, D.C. in the middle of it for years, and I was on my bicycle constantly. That's how I got around. And the reason I could do that is because there was respect for bikers. People were moving less fast there, and we had the trails. We had all sorts of different alternative routes that we could get to and enjoy. I lived in Massachusetts. I biked all the time. I felt very safe there. I moved to Pennsylvania, and I feel very unsafe. Some of it is cultural. Some of it is the vehicles rule the road. But also, as Preston said, part of the problem is bikers themselves, at night in particular. I resent bikers that make me almost hit them because I can't see them. So I think that we can also improve the rules of the road for both the bikers as well as the drivers of automobiles. If we're going to share it, we need to follow rules a little bit more than we do.
May I have an add-on, please?
This is a time for rebuttals or add-ons, yes.
So when I was a kid, we used to ride out to halfway dam sometimes. And it was a lot of work, and it was terrifying coming home, especially if it was getting dark. There were lots of near misses, and a lot of it was cultural. People didn't like us. They yelled at us as they went by. Things have changed a lot, but not only for local cyclists, but we also have this opportunity for outsiders. This unpaved event that has happened twice in the last year or so brought a lot of people with Teslas and $4,000 bicycles to Lewisburg. I think we want those people here. We want them to feel safe. We want them to feel welcome.
Anybody else?
All right.
We'll go to the next question, and Mr. Weaver, you will be the first to answer this question. And this question, someone actually touched on this. How do you feel about extending the rail trail?
Well, the rail trail is now under the authority of the Trail Authority. And I'm glad that it's out from under the auspices of the direct ownership of the county. And I'm all for outdoor recreation, et cetera. And back to the safe bicycling, one of the things that I would ask is, think about too when you're driving. There's so many distracted drivers. I think that's more the issue than it is anything else at this point in time. Like I said, I've been a road cyclist for many, many years. And I've had some close calls. But in more recent times, it's more and more that I can drive by somebody or I can ride my bike by somebody, and I see them on a phone or I can't see the phone, they're hiding behind the dash, but they're looking down. They're not looking for me. They're not looking for anything. So they're about to hit something. Hopefully it's not me someday. But any expansion into the rail, like I said, I'm not in favor of the county itself doing it, but I would love to see more trails in the county.
Well, if you're not already aware, the Trail Authority is funded by hotel tax, which is paid by people who come to Union County and stay here. So that effort was led by John Showers, given credit where it's deserved. And so there's a substantial funding source to keep the trail. First thing is to get the trail maintenance to where it needs to be. But then monies can go to new trail projects that might exist in the future. And as Jeff said, I'm thankful that that's out from underneath the county, and now the ownership goes to the Trail Authority. And if they see their way clear for expanded trails, more power to them.
I think it's great that we have a rail trail, that we have a way to fund it, even expand it. And I really appreciate the role that so many people played in getting us this far. I'm hopeful that while I'm sure the Rail Trail Authority is going to be very responsible, I hope that the community doesn't think that all the solutions are going to come from the Rail Trail Authority. Because I think that our rail trail has proven to be a really fine example of how great this community is when they identify a need and they get to it and they do it. And hats off to you, Trey, to the county, to a lot of people in this room who made, and outside of this room, who made that happen. Let's just keep going.
So when I was the chairman of LWVLA and I was chairing all those public meetings about the rail trail, I felt like a sacrificial lamb sometimes, because there are a lot of people who are very upset about it, either from a taxpayer dollar point of view or from a neighboring farm point of view, and those city slickers are going to leave garbage my cows are going to eat and hurt themselves. In a way, it seems kind of like a slick move for the county to take over the trail and then hand it off. But from the state point of view, they like that sort of thing. They like it when it's not a local government necessarily, but a group of concerned local citizens that have different stakeholders, government, local business, etc. So I think there's some opportunity here to have another expansion of the rail trail at some point in the future. We got to get DCNR on board. We got to get PennDOT on board. All the other